Hello there, interwebland. My name's Luke and I'm from Melbourne in Australia. This is a video that I've created as part of my Introduction to Music Production course that I'm doing through Coursera.org. This video is about applying and editing chorus and flanger effects to a vocal track in Garageband 10. Before we jump into Garageband and have a look at what the sounds do and how they work, we need to talk a little bit about those effects. Both chorus and flanger effects are based on modulated short delays. A short delay is exactly that. It's a signal coming in and we copy it and hold it back just a little bit, a very, very small, tiny amount of time, perhaps even as low as one sample. So that's 1/44,000th of a second or 1/48,000th of a second, possibly, depending on our sample rate. And then we take the copy and we play it back along with the original signal. And what happens when we do that is we create something that's called a comb filter. And that's where we have individual frequencies effectively being cancelled out by the two signals being played together. What we can do with those frequencies that have been cancelled out is we can move them. And that's what we mean by modulating them, putting them into motion. A flanger effect uses that heaps. We can use something called the LFO, the low frequency oscillator, to tell the effect how fast to move the troughs around, how fast to modulate it, and then the troughs move up and down the audio spectrum in both channels, left and right, and they cross over and they create a really nice sweeping sound. A chorus effect does something a little bit differently. That takes the delayed signal, copies it a lot, and then slightly detunes it. And what that does is it creates a sense of space around the sound. It's meant to emulate the sound of a chorus, hence the name, a choir or a chorus. I don't think it does that very well in any chorus effect, but what it does do is create this nice kind of warbling, spaced out kind of sound. And with that out of the way, what I'm going to suggest you do is put on a pair of headphones. This will just help you get the nuances of the sound better than the onboard speakers on your listening device might be able to. So here we are in GarageBand, and you can see that I've got 3 tracks set up. The first one is just the raw vocals track. There's nothing plugged into that. There's no effects, no echo, no reverb, nothing, no compression even. And the other 2 tracks are just copies of that with a chorus or a flanger effect applied. So here's how the original sounds. There's nothing more I can tell you. You don't listen anyway. Right, so that's just out of one of my songs. It's a bit boring, just, that vocal just by itself. And it's a bit boring in the mix as well. Also, I don't really like the sound of my own singing voice, so I'm going to give myself some backup there. So that's where the chorus comes in. And I've got a chorus effect applied over here on the left-hand side under the inspector pane. I can pull up the parameters box, and we can mess with that, or we can mess with the knobs here. Either way is fine. I think there's a bit more accuracy in the box, so let's just hear what this chorus sounds like.
There's nothing more I can tell you. You don't listen anyway.
Sounds like I'm singing through a spring. Let's mess with those parameters a little bit and see if we can't make it sound a little bit more natural. So I'm just going to play it through a couple of times and play with the settings.
There's nothing more I can tell you. You don't listen anyway. There's nothing more I can tell you. You don't listen anyway. There's nothing more.
Yeah, I quite like the sound of that. The reason that I've chosen these parameters is just that. I like the sound, and I think it's going to sound good in the mix. I don't actually have the rest of the song up here, but I think that'll work in the mix. The other thing I could do is flange it, and here is how the flanger sounds.
There's nothing more I can tell you. You don't listen anyway.
Again, that's an extreme example. Now, flanger parameters have got the mix intensity and rate again, but also a feedback. And I'm going to play these through, and I'm going to just change the parameters again, and just to get it sounding a little bit less weird. I'd like it to sound maybe possibly poppy, like it pops out a little bit. Interesting, definitely, but not weird.
There's nothing more I can tell you.
You don't listen anyway. There's nothing more I can tell you. You don't listen anyway. There's nothing more I can tell you.
You don't listen anyway. There's nothing more I can tell you.
Right, and I quite like the sound of that. Again, only choosing those because that's what I think will sound good in the mix with the bass and the drums going on there as well. The next step would be to take this into the mix and see what it sounds like. Unfortunately, I don't have time for that now. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'm sorry it was a bit of a long one. There was a lot to pack into this little video. The video description has got my reflection piece in it, along with a link to the full version of this song on SoundCloud if you're interested. I really look forward to seeing what you guys have to say in my assessment. Thanks for watching.